probably siege it, and we can then enter the castle and have a little defense here. We are starting a series here, an epic siege series, designed to show huge sieges, and it looks like Sturgia is participating here. Welcome back again, friends, to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. This YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related, and especially battlefield command and advanced tactics. And we are starting a new series here that's going to be basically showing tactics in gigantic siege battles. Sieges are some of my favorite parts of Bannerlord and are some of the most popular episodes on our channel. So we're going to explore a whole new series, probably bi-weekly. It might be only once a month. It depends on how often these epic sieges occur. But we're basically looking for sieges that are unusual, extraordinarily difficult, or all of the above. And this right here, unless this Sturgeon force is going somewhere else, looks to be a perfect example of epic siege. It looks like there's going to be at least 3,000 Sturgeons here in a very late game campaign. Some would say extremely late or insanely late. No, I don't want catapults built there. And we are going to see if these two these three Sturgeon forces all look to be converging on Veragos Castle here. So, man, if they all come here, this is going to be a massive siege. And in fact, we probably bit off more than we can chew here. 560 defenders. And this is 5,000 Sturgeons. All right. Well, Epic Siege is the name of the game, and this definitely counts. How's this for Epic Siege, right? 5,000, and they're still coming. And our companion is days away here. She's not going to be able to get here. There's no cavalry coming to our aid. There's no Rohirrim. No Rohirrim is going to arrive in the morning and ride down the enemy here. It's up to us here to hold this fort. 6,200, even more Sturgeons poured into this Zerg fest at the end of that last second here. And it looks like they have begun their assault here. So this entire series, we will use normal player damage. That's just going to be a standard for sieges, normal for us and the troops. We do have a very high level army, and we have very high level companions. You'll almost always see me add an extra stack of javelins for lengthy sieges like this. And we're going to try to use tactics. We're not just going to auto resolve, so to speak, let the AI do a lot of stuff here. We have 8 divisions, and we're going to assign and use all 8 here strategically. Now, unfortunately, we have such a small force. We already have a bunch of militia mixed into our defenders here. So this is an extraordinarily difficult situation. This is like, Helm's Deep or any of the great sieges that are sort of famed throughout our recent media. And we are gonna fight tooth and nail here to defend this castle, though. Now, these walls on the side can be used to fire down on the enemies, but I don't advise people in castle siege use the front walls. When you're outnumbered this badly, the enemy will have so many more archers than you that your archers will get smoked. You're actually better off having your archers be in the courtyard here, occasionally sallying up on the walls, but mostly shooting and attacking the enemy as they come up on the walls. So I'm going to have different infantry divisions on different sides here. Hey, I can put guys on this roof. Let me see this shit. Okay. Well, this is going to be a nice spot. So I can put archers right here, or even better, just on top of this old tile roof, maybe. And it's going to... yeah, that's perfect. It's going to allow these low-level archers to fire down on the enemy in the courtyard here with relative safety. It'll be difficult for enemy troops to get to those guys. So I'm going to defend the gate with an infantry division, and then we're going to have auxiliary divisions, right? These auxiliary divisions, like this first division, I'm going to plant right here because I think they have ladders over here, and that hopefully will slow down the enemy pouring up on that side. What we got going on here? So I want siege. It's not letting me move my siege. I don't know if I did something wrong. Normally you can move your siege to where you want it to. For some reason I can't. Normally in sieges like this, I like to get those exploding fireball bombs and rain those down on the enemy, but evidently we don't have those for some reason here. My horse is up on the wall. That's suboptimal. We're just going to leave him here and try to get an overview of what we're dealing with here. We've got one catapult here. I see their siege tower. Get out of the way, dipshit. And we're going to start firing some rounds in here. If we can knock out a siege tower early on in this battle, it at least gives us a tiny bit of hope. I mean, we are outnumbered, what was it, 12, 13 to 1? This is just an insane challenge, and half of our forces are militia. Right? This really is like Helm's Deep.
Hold arrows!
That said, I have defended castle layouts similar to this before, and I've had a lot of success, so we shall see, right? I won't say it's impossible. It's not impossible, it's just going to be extremely difficult. It doesn't help that we don't have those exploding bombs. Or that I can't seem to fucking dial in this siege tower. There we go. We got some hits there. If we could take this siege tower out, obviously that's going to change things dramatically. So in this battle, you're going to see a lot of micromanaging. I'm going to be charging with units. Fuck. I'm going to be using units in a square at the gate and then attacking the enemy from the side. We will get enfilade or flanking fire on the enemy and generally try to do some nasty fucking shit to the enemy. If you're new to the channel, the swearing is a vestige of 30 years in the fire service and the military. I won't apologize for it. We're going to be gentle with the swearing, though. I won't be like telling racist jokes or anything like that. God damn it. If you're religious, well, I apologize. Maybe you can find a nice Sunday school Bannerlord channel where they don't swear at all. We're killing the enemy here. We're beheading them. They're going to have to deal with a little bit of profanity. Alright, I swear there's normally exploding firebombs on one of these ramparts, but I don't see shit. This castle is very poorly planned and prepared for this siege. And we are facing just an unbelievably huge force of Sturgeons. And see, that was a good example there. I stuck my head out there for like 2 seconds, and 3 arrows hit me, and 12 fucking throwing axes were thrown at me. Our troops have no chance on this wall here. So the enemy's going to start pouring up this siege tower. That's a problem. Normally there are rocks that you can throw in this situation, and you can fire those rocks down on the head of the enemy, but I don't see any on this 3rd level. Let me get a few shots off at this guy. Maybe these guys just can't shoot. I see what's happening here, too. They're getting shot. I mean, these guys can still kill some guys, although now here comes the enemy. Fuck. Alright, so here's where those archers positioned are going to be vital, right? Those archers, those extra javelin shots. You know, I'm killing a guy every 5 seconds with my javelins. 20 down, 5,980 to go, or whatever it is. Get off our fucking wall here. Yeah, this is a problem. The enemy's now streaming in on the siege tower, and I heard the ram. I think I heard the ram break through the front gate. That means the units are gonna be right here. We got to get our infantry ready to charge. In this case, what I'll do is wait for the enemy to sort of burst in, and then I'll charge with the infantry, hoping to bottleneck the enemy here. This is where you can really rack up a lot of kills. Most sieges have this opportunity, and if you're not taking advantage of this, you're just throwing away the ability to kill like 100 troops. These videos hopefully are a combination of sort of tutorial, how-to, but also entertainment, right? This is going to be an epic slugfest. Of course, the enemy could just overwhelm our defenses here, and this will be a 10-minute episode. I do narrate and play these live, so there's always a chance that this battle goes very badly, or my system crashes or something. Fuck, I can't. My units are not doing what I wanted them to. I wanted them to charge. Instead, they're like charging the sides of the map here. We got a fucking problem. I got disobedient militia here. My fucking horse is right here. I got guys chasing me. Get the fuck off. We got chaos already. All right, we're going to have to get up here. Let's send the 6th in. The skirmishers can be told to fire at will. They should unleash a barrage of javelins. Let's charge with the 1st and 2nd division, and I might need to get an infantry division to charge. There's already a lot of really bad death spam, and the enemy's just pushed a gaping hole in our keep defenses here. Well, this is what I was talking about. This keep defense might be curtains. Now, for this epic siege series, I won't show battles like this, and in this case I'm just talking to myself, and my wife's in the other room wondering why the fuck she married such a dipshit, can't even defend a castle. But if we can turn this around and make a defense out of this, then what I'll do is I'll process this, add some snazzy special effects, and load it up to YouTube for you guys to learn from, to laugh at when you see me doing dipshit things, and be generally entertained. At least I hope. Or maybe you're going to see me surrounded and cut down by sturgeons here. This looks so bad. I mean, we're just getting fucking absolutely trucked. I'm getting absolutely chased by the whole Sturgeon Empire. I guess so far this is how not to defend a castle siege, right? We've basically fucked up like 3 things. I don't know any idea where my siege, my fire catapults were. The gate is totally overrun. I'm telling units to get up here, but they're too far away, and they're basically all under attack. They can't form a square to defend the gate when they're being mauled by all these defensive or these attacking sturgeons, right? They're trying to push forward now with the square. I see militia mixed in with our square. That's never good, right? You don't want your most critical defensive unit mixed in with a bunch of fucking blacksmiths who just grabbed an axe today for the first time. I'm bringing my 8th Corps down. This is my elite 8th Corps, my best unit on the field. We will send these guys in here because this is an emergency. You see them rushing up. A lot of these units are level 35, etc. They're very potent, and we're sending them all in here. This is a desperate situation. If we can't close the gate, I am talking to myself in my study here. We've got a nice square, though, now. I've tried to pull these archers back. We've already put a dent in the sturgeons, but there's just so many fucking sturgeons. We're going to just have to... I almost killed my own companions there. They look just like sturgeons coming down that wall. Who is that? Oh, I did kill my own companions. I couldn't tell who was the fucking... They had a lord in there, and it looked like one of our guys. I am relatively infamous, I guess. I was going to say famous. Infamous for killing my own troops with javelins. I'm a little bit of a wild, reckless fucking loose cannon here. Where'd that saying come from? I imagine like cannons would get loose on a boat and fucking shoot, like blow up the wall next to where the cannons are or something. Never heard of that, where that term came from. Anyways, I digress. The gate is sort of, I guess you could say it's sort of blocked up. In a realistic situation like this, you don't want to see the gate completely blocked up because then this battle will take 4 hours and I won't load it because it'll be so boring. You can get in a situation where the enemy AI just simply doesn't understand, you know, that it has to like go around or something like that. But in this case, the enemy's definitely pouring in way more than you want, right? You want the enemy trickling in. This is a fucking flood, a torrent of sturgeons. Again, we're charging with the 8th Corps. This battle has basically been desperation mode from the very beginning here. I probably should have had my companion with me because then we would have had more than 500 troops. If we had 800 or 900, maybe we would have a better chance. But this looks so bad. It's a fucking wall of shields attacking me. I mean, what the fuck? It's just blue everywhere I look. There's fucking heroic line breakers trying to cut my head off. Get over here. Sturgeon troops are so strongly defensive too. They are just fucking tough, man. Their ability to survive an onslaught is outstanding. The death spam looks pretty good though. It's a momentary reprieve, I think, as we mop up their overextended troops. And we gotta get this division to the gate. I gotta get this square in the gate and just catch my breath here. If we can just get troops in this gate, and this is a strategy you'll want to employ if you never do this in a keep siege. In this situation, don't charge. Don't F1, F3 with your troops. Because what will happen is they'll just randomly attack. You don't actually want them attacking the troops behind them. You want to jam up the gate. That's the most urgent priority. And once the gate is jammed up, then the rest of the troops can be used to clean up, right? We will now that the gate is jammed up, we will now clean up the rest of the troops. Actually, it looks like the rest of the troops are already cleaned up. What are the 7th Corps? I got reinforcements on these guys, so we're going to have to pull them off that roof. That roof did serve them well. All those guys survived a very long time. And this is why you see me using 6, 7, 8 divisions. We're now spreading out our units. With this, I can get crossfire. Crossfire is where you have archers shooting at 2 different locations at units, right? It's a highly effective way to destroy enemies, both on the battlefield and in a keep siege, right? Admittedly, my first, I don't know, year playing Bannerlord, probably like a lot of players, I did not do a lot of tactics and keep siege. And I'll tell you a few clues in this battle of what you need to do if you want to do tactics. First thing is come up with a battle plan before the battle starts. Look at your units, predict what's going to happen, try to predict anyways. Position units as a contingency. Contingency, of course, is just a backup. Oh shit, you know, everybody's got a plan till they're punched in the face, right? Mike Tyson style. You want to have a plan in case things go bad. So my plan, of course, was to jam up the gate with a square. What are these fucking guys doing? This is our gatehouse. There's the enemy forces just piling up here in our gatehouse. So the other thing you want to do, there's more than just two, but just off the top of my head, get the fuck out of here. The other thing you want to do, you want to make sure in a castle siege situation like this is you don't auto control any units. If you do that, what happens unfortunately is the AI has a nasty tendency to consolidate units. In other words, if you had 8 divisions and then right now, let's say I didn't like what was going on with the fifth division, the archers, and I told that unit, you know, the F6 command to have the sergeant take over. A lot of times that will fuck with your other divisions, and it renders this kind of strategy irrelevant. It just is no longer effective. It doesn't work, and you want to avoid that. In other words, once you start micromanaging in a battle like this, you need to keep micromanaging. You need to basically either leave the units in place, like I'm doing with these archers. I'm just kind of occasionally spreading them out for better line of sight. Or you need to be doing things like charge, pull back, square, shield wall, and lining guys up in formation. If you do that, then the system works extremely well. But you start micromanaging your units and you're kind of fucked. Now, speaking of fucked, the enemy is starting to look fucked here. Now, they are pouring up those ladders. But now the enemy's coming in as an absolute trickle. And as long as this big shield wall holds out, we're going to be able to kill scores of the enemy as they're stuck in the gatehouse. These are archers, so we charge. If you see archers and your infantry's there, you should always charge. But we'll retrieve those guys and form that square again. And what's happening here is these archers have incredible line of sight. They can basically shoot right over our infantry. People have probably seen me in siege battles just like this, very similar situation. Over here, the enemy's climbing the ladder and shield wall, but they're also taking a beating. Now, I don't want these guys charging this whole time, and the reason is this. If you have them charge, eventually they'll get pushed too far in the gatehouse. They will negate your enemy's or your unit's ability to enfilade fire and shoot over the enemy. And the other thing that'll happen is, of course, they'll start getting killed. So these are archers. We're fine with these guys charging. You guys can come on in. Now you see that infantry division right across the way? That's a contingency plan. Fuck. Don't take an axe to the face. Very bad decision. Okay, so I was trying to jam the gate up a little bit better. Those kind of commands are vital if you're going to be a good battlefield commander, both in keep siege, but also just regular battle. You want to be able to tell your units charge, advance, pull back, retreat, stop, all these kind of things. These are commands that the more adept you get and the quicker you get at using these commands, the better a battlefield commander you will be. So the square is starting to leak. It's starting to shrink as the enemy pounds their way through. In fact, this is like a full-on breach. The square is just not able to hold back this tidal fucking wave of Sturgians. I mean, this is a massive amount of fucking troops. I'm trying to pull them towards me and get them a little closer so that they're blocking the door better, but obviously they can't just push troops out of their way, right? They move slowly as guys die. I can actually see them drifting my way. Now that they're here, I tell them stop. Damn it. I'm getting stuck. I'm getting fucking smashed in the face with my axe. Now the archers have incredible line of sight, right? This square is holding strong here. The enemy's pounding on the sides, but the enemy is getting absolutely enfilade fire, shot in the side by archers on both sides, right? We have plenty of archers still left. But it's very messy too. This is That's better. I want to get that square, not quite completely blocking up the gate, but blocking up 90% of the entry. It's general chaos here. The enemy's pouring in on the ladders over here. They're pouring through the front gate. They're leaking around the front gate. Can send in the 5th here. That's that infantry division on the far side there. And the other thing you're going to start to see me do is charge with archers. If there's a huge breach, sometimes you just need bodies in the breach, right? Any old body, any old archer with a shield or a Battanian Fiend or something like that. A body, what it does, of course, is it prevents the enemy from pouring through. So little bits of micromanaging here as I try to give my archers the best line of sight. It's sort of a dance we're playing with this square, right? As the enemy leaks to one side, we move the archers so they have better line of sight. I can see the arrows just whistling right over my shoulder, hitting every other guy that I'm not. And between my axe, my 100 speed axe, and 332 handed skill, right now we've got ourselves what I call a death factory, where it doesn't matter what the enemy does, they're going to get killed. Now our square is not going to last forever, so we're making hay while the sun shines here, right? We're beheading some guys. This enemy force is eventually going to wear this square down. A square is a defensive shield wall situation where everybody puts back to back, of course, but they generally don't swing their weapon very much, right? They're focused on defense, but it still wears down eventually. The guys get, they still get hit by weapons. And it's starting to break down here. The square is starting to just be pushed out, and it's also losing members. I think it was 70 or something when I first formed it. We're gonna have to charge with these archers. What you do is you charge and tell them to hold fire. These guys will come roaring up, join the battle, and these swords hopefully can help stop this leaking dike here. The enemy is just an absolute fucking hurricane, a flood of enemies out of this side. Like the freak force of nature here. They seem never-ending. Well, and that's how it's going to be when you're up against 6,000 enemies, right? This is definitely one of the biggest sieges I've ever attempted, and unfortunately, we're doing so without a lot of troops, right? We don't have what I would consider the normal, ideal allotment of troops, right? We've got almost half our forces fucking militia. And of course, the enemy is mostly elite troops. It's really starting to break down here. Now, I'll mention it from time to time. I don't bring up the status bar in the middle of battles like this. You're not going to know how we're doing, how many guys we have left. If this is our last 100 guys, you're just not going to know until it's obvious, right? Until we're getting whittled away. I like that suspense. Other subscribers and viewers have said they like that suspense, and so that's a feature of not just this battle, but all of our series. You're not going to typically see, unless it's like a highly instructional series, you're not going to see me showing that scoreboard, of how many units we have left, how many units the enemy has left, etc. Now the enemy is totally attracted to the square here, and for the most part, they're like leaving me alone, which is good because I have an absolutely tiny sliver of health left. Now I do have the RTS mod loaded, so I'll be able to come back as another character if and when these guys are destroyed. What are these guys doing way back there? Get up here and join the battle. There's like an archer unit sitting way back in the reserves. Nobody's sitting out this battle here. We got everybody fighting. This is the kind of battle where the lords put their mistress in a suit of armor and say, here, just hold a shield and a sword. Just stand over there and distract the enemy. Mistress is good at distracting. They can do it in many different ways. God. The enemy still has tier 5 and tier 4 units. In Castle Siege, the enemy typically starts with their highest level troops, and as you destroy their waves, they start to get lower and lower. But against so many troops, I mean, we're 20 minutes, 30 minutes into this battle, and it's still all tier 4 and tier 5 units. no sign of that relenting. That said, look at the death spam. The death spam is in our favor, and we have to have that, right? We need, what, 12 to 1 kill ratio to win this battle. We were outnumbered 6,000 versus 540 or something like that, right? We need a very successful, highly efficient death process here. Which is why you see me up here swinging my axe, right? I don't want to get knocked unconscious. My character is vital for command. I think there's a morale loss for your troops in this case. But look what we're facing. It's not like anybody can just sit back and drink their coffee. This is an all-hands-on-deck situation. Fuck. Just fucking pushing at me. Enemy forces are just charging left and right. I've got forces, for some reason or other, going up the stairs here. I don't know why they're doing that. Get down here. This is the 7th Corps. I want these guys as an archer division in the courtyard. Those guys are going to get smoked by archers up there. So many things have gone wrong with this siege. What I was hoping for and what I thought was going to happen is that we were going to fight 2,800, you know, for this inaugural episode, for this epic siege series. I thought we were going to be facing 2,800 troops, not 6,000. But here we are. My campaign's an extremely late game campaign. A lot of the nobles are mature. A lot of the kingdoms have massive amounts of money, and so they can field huge armies. A lot of people, of course, have grandchildren and whatnot, so there's a ton of nobles. And with that, you get these giant armies. You get these crazy sieges. The other thing that's going on here is in this series, I have like 2 castles and 3 cities. Right, this is a side branch of our deathmatch campaign. I can talk about that a little bit here since we're in sort of the same static situation here. The enemy's trying to pour through over here, but we're just barely holding on to this. I keep on trying to pull the archers back so that they can start shooting, and every time I do, the enemy floods in on that side. So my deathmatch campaign started about 30 game years ago, maybe 15 to 18 months ago of real life. And I was like most people, I was just starting to steamroll the computer. We were at war with like a couple people. I started as a Sturgeon. We obviously quickly took over for the incompetent Ragnavad, or whatever the fuck his name is, the Grand Prince. And we had probably 12 cities and 12 castles. It was obvious to me after already playing one playthrough that the campaign was effectively over. I know that seems strange. We'd only conquered a third of the map. But we were crushing the enemy every battle using tactics. We had high-level troops, and in a lot of battles, we outnumbered the enemy. So it was an absolute walk. We just literally just crushed the enemy at will. So I decided to spice things up. To make the game more difficult, I did a variety of different things. First, I loaded a mod that made some of the lords in my campaign very high level. I don't have that mod anymore. Please don't ask the name of it. I wish I could find it. I also loaded mods that made enemy lord armies stronger. It basically increases the rate that they gain experience. I'm trying to give coherent narration here and fight off this endless fucking force of troops. Well, maybe I shouldn't be narrating. All right, let's see. Okay, so I got another character here. She's got a javelins. No, she's got a polearm. I don't even know who this is. I've got so many companions, I don't recognize her. We're going to charge the gate with the 2nd. Let's have the 1st in a square. Archers, the 5th can charge, the 4th can shoot. And let's get this 8th division lined up here as an auxiliary unit. A lot of times when my character Zuvan gets knocked unconscious, the battle just goes sideways, but it looks like we had a pretty quick transition here of command, as hopefully someone's dragging Zuvan out of here so he doesn't get, you know, drawn and quartered if we lose this battle. What was I saying? So the extra late game campaign. So the lords are very high level. They have lots of money. They have mods that make their troops gain experience faster. That means in our battles, there's way more higher level units than you'll typically see in your campaign. Anyways, I did all these things, and then I decided to declare war on 7 out of 8 of the kingdoms. I was a Sturgeon originally, and I decided, you know what, we'll be at peace with Sturgia and fight everybody else. Well, about 10 game years ago, Sturgia just kept on fucking attacking me, even though I'm fighting everybody else. They're being attacked, they would declare peace on one of the people I was fighting, and then declare war on me. So I had just had enough. Finally, we went to all-out war with Sturgia as well. We added, you know, them to the carnage as well. The enemy is just pouring through now the side. This gal must have 300 and something polearm skill, because she swings a polearm like a bad mofo. Anyway, so this series is a side branch of that series, of that extra long game campaign. And the benefit is you get these unbelievably huge sieges, right? For demonstration purposes, for entertainment purposes, this is going to work beautifully, because you're going to see some of the biggest sieges probably anybody sharing on YouTube. If there are bigger, I would love to hear about it in the comments. If you've fought bigger sieges than this, or you've heard of bigger ones, or you've seen, I would love to have video links, because I would love to see what they're doing too. I always learn from other people, or at least I often learn from other people. So this archer division is beautifully positioned, and you can see the gate. The gate is absolutely razor thin holding on to our margin here. But look at the death span, right? It's an absolute slaughter fest. If somehow we can maintain this, the enemy may rout. But it is fucking razor close. And our square here is diminished, right? To say the least. It's actually one unit that's charging and one unit in a square, just sort of bottling up the gate for these guys to kill the enemy. And the question is whether they rout first or whether our square melts away. Which one happens first, right? And tactically, I'm totally limited here. The enemy is like a fucking raging tiger on a chain. I can't afford to do anything except hold that chain with both hands and pray for dear life that we don't lose it, right? That we don't lose control of this gate. I guess I can grab an axe. Yeah, an axe actually is preferable. It looks like she's got decent two-handed skill as well. I still don't know who this is. I don't recognize her gear. See you in hell. She's got an annoying voice, that's for sure. But she's fairly serviceable with this axe, blowing up shields. I like that it kills multiple people at once too. I'm just more comfortable swinging an axe than a polearm in a battle like this. So in this series, we're going to be exploring different castles that may or may not be interesting for Siege. We're going to wander around the map of Calradia. This is not going to affect the campaign I'm in, if those are wondering. These are just going to be side series that are loaded to a separate game. I might try some sieges more than once. Like this siege, if this goes disastrously, it's already kind of gone disastrously, or I guess this has already been interesting enough that I'll probably load this onto YouTube no matter what. Sometimes it's good to load when you make mistakes, right? If we can actually pull this off, that'll show great resiliency and perseverance through the face of adversity here. But if sieges go really bad, like say we got trucked in 4 minutes, I may reload save games and try these again, right? These are exhibitions. These are not meant to be seen as, I'm fighting these once and that's it. Although this is, so far this is once, and I'm probably just gonna roll with this for our inaugural episode here. I've got another side series going on, the 300 series as well, which is our little Spartan-inspired 300 group. And this is effectively a side branch of that. So it's a side branch of a side branch. We've got these elite companions. We've got a very powerful hand-picked stacked army. And then I have 1 or 2 companions that have armies as well, that we're sort of running around Calradia looking for castle sieges like this to try to pull off the most audacious, interesting, mesmerizing, chaotic siege defenses possible. You could see our square starting to melt. I've now charged with the archers. We're in a desperate situation here. We've brought up everybody into this last press. If the archers can all block up this gate, then maybe we can seal it off here. Maybe there's reinforcements coming. I don't know. But it looks bad. We're fighting for our lives now. And the enemy's pouring through like fucking an overflowing gutter. The battle is lost. There's no reinforcements coming. Well, in our inaugural episode here, we've failed to defend this castle. But no shame in that. 500 and something against 6,000. And this certainly qualifies as epic siege. The whole kingdom of Sturgia attacks me. I'm the last standing soldier here, it looks like, and I get the peasant beat down here. Three damage at a time, right? 3 and 2 and 7 by this giant computer robot Zerg. It looks like they're chasing after somebody else. Somebody's still alive. I hear him yelling. Oh, there's some guys stuck here in the wall. Well, they're going to be able to eventually Zerg the fuck out of those guys. And we will observe the carnage of this castle defense here. Varagos Castle falls in this episode. Now again, I'll just reload this save game and we'll try to get out of this situation. I'll take off and go somewhere else. I'm going to explore different cultural castles too. We may try to defend a few castles in Botania. We may defend a few in Valandia. We may even go south and try to defend like an Asterai city. What you won't see on this series is repetitive sieges. You're not going to see 2 sieges that look identical. Granted, all sieges have their elements that are similar. You're going to have the rock throwing and the siege towers and shit like that. But the different keep layouts, different tactics we can use should make for an interesting series. You can see here we defeated, some 3,000, so over half their force. I'm actually very content with that, considering how badly I butchered parts of this siege. And you guys get to learn from that, right? You guys, if you're in a campaign, a devastating siege like this would really set you back. You're going to be able to learn from the mistakes or from the good things that I do in this series. I would promise that we're going to have some success in this series. This is kind of a perfect way, a nice humble way to start the series, get our asses kicked here by this Sturgian Zerg, and onward to the next episode. They're all roaring here as our 530 men are defeated. Actually, it's not even 530. What is it? Oh, it is it's like 550 men. All right, well, let me know what you think of this series. If you want to see specific castles, I'm willing to look at specific castles or cities to defend. If you're having a problem defending one, I'm willing to open requests. Just know that I can't cover every single request. If I don't get to yours, I apologize. I get a lot of requests for certain videos. But if you want to see a certain situation, I've even talked about the possibility of people sending me saved games of difficult situations where they had a hard time. And I would then try to defend a castle that they were about to defend, kind of to show what an experienced player would do in that situation. So anyways, let me know what you think of this series. Please comment and like. All that kind of stuff's good for the algorithms, as you guys probably know. Please subscribe if you want to see more of this series. I appreciate your time, fellas. Your time is important to me as well. And I will talk to you, friends, next time.